Far to the east lies the Middle Kingdom, the homeland of great thinkers and incredible artists. The land of mighty rivers, majestic mountains, and mysterious forests. The legendary temple of South Shaolin first appeared here hundreds of years ago. Its inhabitants perfected their ancient techniques for centuries, training the body, mind, and soul every day. Fearless monks defended the temple from both ruthless bandits and the terrible forces of darkness. But their greatest challenge was the invasion of the Wuku, pirates from the east who landed on the country's southern shores. When the government, mired in corruption, was unable to withstand the enemy's assault, the Shaolin monks decided to break their own rules and help. Joining forces with the Imperial Army, the monks managed to defeat the Wuku troops at the cost of many of their own lives. Victorious, the monks returned to their monastery and life went back to normal in the coastal towns. However, for the young fisherman Wei Cheng and his village, trouble followed trouble, seemingly without end.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm G, this time with an impression video on 9 Monkeys of Shaolin. Now, 9 Monkeys of Shaolin is a game that came out kind of a while ago. I don't know if it's 1 or 2 years ago, but only recently that I had the chance to try it out. And I gotta say, I wasn't very impressed with it. I mean, sure, at the beginning you see the illustrations and you think, oh, this might be fun, you know. From the looks of it, it looks like a beat 'em up, and it is a beat 'em up. You can play it by 1 or 2 persons co-op, which I thought was really cool. But as soon as I entered, I was looking at the graphics and I was like, this was done in Unreal Engine. This doesn't seem like that polished to me. I'm just gonna say right now, this is an indie game. This probably didn't have a million developers working on it. So at the beginning, I let that one slide because it's obviously an indie and not a lot of developers. So you can let a few things slide, like graphics and probably some things in the menus should be different, but all that. But once I started playing, in the tutorial, it seems like it's pretty straightforward. You got several hits. You don't actually have a jump. You have like a dodge and deflect. And you have a few armor enemies. I don't think they even specify that some of them have like tails before they attack, but whatever. In the beginning you think, oh, it's gonna be like this, but right on the first mission, you get hammered with guys that have armor, which means as you hit them, you're doing nothing. They don't stagger, and they have that attack that cannot be stopped. It shows a little red light, and then they attack you. And you have several of them doing this thing. So if you're caught in the corner or something, you are immediately hammered by these guys and you cannot get away.
Bleeding to death
and I really didn't like that, because I was hoping to enjoy the game, because I like the universe, I like Kung Fu. I think it's a nice story. It's about a fisherman. His village get attacked and he has to protect it by learning martial arts. And so he goes to the Shaolin temple and they teach him, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a little, scale by scale. We're going to have small enemies, then bigger enemies and bigger enemies. You can change some stats in your arsenal. You can change, for instance, your weapon. Then there's a few others, which is a necklace and an item, a new item looking at. But you can only change the weapon on this version that I tried out. And it was really hard to master. I mean, it felt a little bit like Darksiders 3, when you have a lot of enemies and you're just hitting them and they're trying to hit you, and maybe one again gives you a hit or something, but it doesn't really deplete your energy. It's fine, you got yourself into this mess, you can get out. But when you have all the enemies in armor and all of them doing this attack, it's really frustrating because you can't do anything. They just hammer you one after the other. Even if you try to deflect, which is what the tutorial says, you can deflect it. When you might deflect one, but the other one right behind it will hit you, or someone behind you will hit you, and it's really frustrating. Another thing that happens is they have guys with blow darts, and these guys can only be defeated if you can deflect their projectile at the exact time. So imagine now I reach a point where I had like 3 guys in armor doing these attacks that really, really deplete your life, and plus these two guys with blow darts that had to deflect. So what I ended up doing is I gotta get rid of the guys with blow darts so I can then fight. And most of the time when I was fighting, I wasn't even deflecting. I was just jumping, hitting 1-2, jumping 1-2, jumping. Then this time I was playing Dark Souls, so it's not an enjoyable beat 'em up. As per se, it borrows too much mechanics of those new games that have that high risk, high reward, and yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I let it slide for the graphics. I let it slide a little bit how the missions were made because they were very linear, but it's okay. It's kind of like that. But when you add everything up, the game really, really suffers. I really think that the idea behind it was good. The developers, showed their strength by, programming a game that doesn't have bugs and that doesn't have problems with animation or anything. But once you start playing, it really gets frustrating when the fighting. When it comes to fighting, it can be really frustrating to progress, unless you have because you have this steep learning curve. It's not enjoyable. I think that they should, maybe it was because of the version I tried out, maybe because I played too far ahead in the game. I don't think I did, but once you start fighting a lot of enemies, it gets frustrating that you keep always dying and having to repeat. You have items that help you replenish your energy, but you can't even drink them fast enough that will keep you safe when several of them are on top of you, and they can hit you on the ground. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend this one. This one needs a lot of work and needs to be polished a lot, and even concerning about the graphics, it needs to go back to basics. So yeah, I feel bad for the developers, but this is not a good game. At least that's my opinion on it. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please like and subscribe, and as always, have a great game, guys.